Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to my Oldschool Runescape solo Vetion guide. In this guide I'm going to be focusing on the Safespot method that is used to kill Vetion. Oh, and by the way, I've heard it pronounced a lot of different ways. I've heard both Vetion and Vetion. I guess I personally prefer Vetion, so if you don't like that, I do apologize, but that's how I refer to it in the guide. Vetion is a level 454 boss that is located just north of the Boneyard in about level 35 Wilderness. There are no real requirements for this guide, but I highly recommend you have at least 70 plus in all your melee stats, 70 plus prayer for piety, a salve amulet enchanted, and a high level crush weapon such as Zamaraki and Hasta. The most notable jobs for this boss is the Ring of the Gods, a Dragon Two-Hander, a Dragon Pickaxe, 100 Nota Renars, and the Vetion Junior Pet. Vetion actually has quite a few different mechanics that he will use throughout the boss fight, so before we take a look at the inventory or anything like that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the different mechanics. So the first mechanic of Vetion is that he actually has two phases. Both of the phases are the exact same except the first one is purple and the second one is orange. Starting with the purple phase, once Vetion has dropped below half health, he will spawn a couple of Hellhounds. When these Hellhounds spawn, you have to kill them before you can continue attacking the boss. Once the purple phase is dead, he will respawn again, except this time orange. Again at half health, he will spawn a couple more Hellhounds, and then after that, you can actually finally kill the boss. Now Vetion also has 3 different attack styles. You won't really have to worry about these because we are safe spotting, but for the guide's sake, I'll go over them. So first of all, he just has a regular melee attack, and this can be completely avoided by protecting melee. He also has a lightning bolt attack. With this attack, he will shoot out 3 bolts of lightning in your general direction. In order to avoid this, all you have to do is just move out of the way. And then his last attack is the earthquake, and with the earthquake, you'll get a message that says he slams the ground. Anyone within an 11 by 11 area will be hit by this attack. There's really no way to avoid it other than by moving way far away. Alright, so now that you know about Vetion's mechanics, let's take a look at your gear and inventory setup. So first of all, for your gear setup, you want a setup that maximizes your crush attack bonus and your prayer bonus without making you risk too much as you are in the wilderness. So what I have on right now is a Dwarven Helmet, which gives a +6 crush bonus, a Salve Amulet Enchanted, which again, I really stress the importance of a Salve Amulet. It makes a massive difference in kill speed. Then I also have on a Monk's Robe top and bottom, as it pretty much has the same prayer bonus as Proselyte, except it's basically free. And then I have Climbing Boots on, Barrel's Gloves, Zamaraki and Hasta and a Dragon Defender, Artie Cloak 3, and a Slayer Ring. As far as your cape goes, Artie Cloak is a great option because it gives prayer bonus, and again, it's free. If you don't have an Artie Cloak, you can always use something like a Legends Cape. And then for my ring, I have on a Slayer Ring. A Slayer Ring allows you to teleport at level 30 Wilderness, just like a Glory would, except a Slayer Ring is free. So if you have a Slayer Ring, make sure you bring that. If not, make sure you bring a Glory Width in your inventory for teleporting. Now as far as weapons go, there's plenty of different weapons you can use, and I'll kind of go over the best ones. So first of all, Zamaraki and Hasta and Dragon Defender is by far the best combination you can use, because it gives a really great crush attack bonus, and it has fast attack speed. Now later in the guide, I will show you why attack speed matters, but trust me when I say that Zami Hasta is the best option. Now if you can't afford that, you could also use a Sarah Sword. A Sarah Sword is very good for crush as well, and again, it is quite fast. But if you don't have a Zamaraki and Hasta or a Sarah Sword, you could also use something like a Bandos God Sword on Crush, you could use a Barrel Chest Anchor, or a Verax Flail. Now all 3 of those are pretty slow weapons, but I will also show you if you have a slower weapon, how to use them later on in the episode. So once you have your gear selected, we can take a look at the inventory. First of all, I have a Games Necklace because you are teleporting to the Court Beast Lair and then running north. I then have a Brew, a Restore, a Super Combat, 3 Prayer Potions, Venge Runes, and Sharks. Now the more experience you get, you can take less food, more Prayer Potions, and more Super Combats. However, with the prevalence of PKers, you don't want to have too long of trips, so I bring 1 Super Combat for 4 kills, and then I bank after that no matter what. So realistically, a setup like this should always be good, unless you're feeling daring and you want to try and get, a really high kill trip, but that's your choice. Okay, so once you have your gear and inventory selected, we are ready to head to Vetion. So rub your Games Necklace and teleport to the Court Beast Lair. Now be aware, a lot of times once you leave this cave, there will be a team ready to attack you, standing just to the east, so do be aware of that. Sometimes a team will just sit out here, and honestly, if they're out there, there's not much you can do, you're pretty much dead. But anyways, once you leave the Court Beast Lair, just run directly north, and then you're going to see kind of a boneyard that I talked about earlier. Run through that a little bit more north, and then we'll end up at the safe spot. The safe spot you're standing at is at level 32 Wilderness, so if you're past level 32, you've gone too far. But just leave the cave, run directly north, you'll see another patch of trees and a big rock over here. This rock just north of you is going to be the safe spot area, so come on to this spot right here, and then we can take a look at how to actually lure the boss. Alright guys, so before I actually lure the boss, let's take a look at the environment where you're luring him to, and how the Safespot actually works. So if you look east and west, you can actually see kind of lines in the ground where the shading is weird, so you can literally see like the different areas that I'm talking about if you look east and west like this. So this east and west line that I'm standing on right now, this is kind of the area you're going to stand in to bring Vetion to. Now if I were to take one step to the north, the boss will attack me, because this line right here to the north of me, this one is his wander distance. So if you are within this area right here and farther, he will attack you. So basically how this Safespot works is, you're going to lure him down to this spot right here where his wander distance ends, just north of me. You are then going to take a few steps to the south, and you are going to stand in the safe area. Now most bosses, if you walk out of their wander distance, if you walk away, they'll walk away. Vetion, however, for whatever reason, as you can still see right now, if you just stand one step south of his wander distance, he will just stand there and stare at you, like waiting to attack you. So Vetion's a weird boss, but the Safespot works out very, very well. And again, hopefully that gave you a good idea. If you just put your camera like this, you can literally see the lines in the ground. This one right here that is open with the rocks just north, this is his wander distance, and then after you move south of that, then you are safe from him. With that being said though guys, go ahead and set your quick prayers right now. I would set it to protect item and piety. As you're kind of flinching the boss, you don't need to pray melee, so you can just flick piety to save on prayer. So set your quick prayers to piety, drink your super combat potion, throw up a vengeance if you brought it, and then run a bit north. Now I really don't need to do that, but basically you're running north so that Vetion wants to attack you. As you can see, he's following me right now. Now at this point, I want to run directly to the southeast, and you'll see a patch of rocks, kind of. So stand right in the middle of this patch of rocks, and once he's kind of followed you a little bit, then you can start running to the east. Now again, remember I talked about that line that is just one north of where I was standing. This line right here. Walk along this line until you get to the edge of the rocks, and then you can stop. Now at this point, I'm going to come over here and walk a bit to the south. So, as I mentioned earlier, this line right here is his wander distance, and now that I'm south of it, he will just stand there and he will be stuck. Now at this point, you want to stand over to the west of him quite a bit along this Safespot line. At this point, I'm going to flick on quick prayers and attack him. Then take a step to the south and hit him twice more. And then stop. Now, with most bosses, if you were flinching them, you would need to wait for their health bar to go away. However, Vetion is again a very, very weird boss. So for this one, after you attack him that third time, you guys only need to wait one game tick and then you can go again. So it's actually a very, very fast boss to kill if you do it like this. So again, hit him on the west side, step to the south, hit him once, hit him twice, and then step back, wait just a second, and then you can go again. Now the reason why you need to hit him on the west side first is because if you only stand on the south side here and hit him, he will walk away. Now that's kind of just how RuneScape mechanics works, where if you're standing in a safe spot that is outside of the boss's wander distance, it'll start walking away. Now I will show you that. I'm gonna fuck up my lure and I will show you that. If I just stand to the south here and I attack him, he's gonna take a step that way, and now he is too far north and it no longer works. So that, my friends, is why you need to do the west and then to south method, because otherwise he'll walk away. Okay, so I got him relured and he's about to hit half health. Once he hits that half health point, he will spawn a couple of skeleton hellhounds. At that point, you need to pray melee and take a few steps back to the south. The skeleton hellhounds have a farther wander distance than Vetion does, so they'll follow you back into the safe spot and you can kill them without taking damage from him. So let's go ahead and get him into the dog mode really, really quickly. Okay, so this is actually another glitch that happens sometimes, and I'm glad this happened because I can address it. A lot of times people will kill Vetion to the point where it gets to the second phase, and then they'll have to hop because of a PK or something like that. If that happens and they've already killed the dogs in the first phase, they will not spawn. So say you're killing it and you get to half health and the dogs don't spawn, don't be alarmed. It's because somebody else already tried to kill it and they couldn't quite finish it off. So I'm actually glad this happened. This is a kind of a cool example. But anyways, to carry on to show you how Vetion works, he's about to run out of health. Once he does, he will turn orange and say, do it again. Now at this point, you're going to want to make sure you stop for a second. If you attack Vetion from the south as he turns on to his orange phase, sometimes he'll take a step away. So if he's getting very, very close to changing forms, make sure you hit that last hit on the western side, because if you're standing on the south and you make him change phases, a lot of the times he will walk away. But anyways, now once I get him to half health on this second form, then he will spawn the dog, so I'll see you then. Okay, so the dog should spawn in a second here. And there we go, there dogs. At this point, make sure you turn on prey melee, and they sometimes get stuck, so if they do get stuck, just run a little bit east or west and they'll move towards you. At this point, just leave prey melee on and flick on piety every time you attack, and you can kill them pretty quickly. Now, I have seen people bring a trident for the hellhounds, and you kill them insanely fast with the trident, but it does add extra risk, so I don't know. If you have a salve ammo, you seem to hit pretty well with the hast on these guys anyway, so I guess if you're feeling risky and you want to try bringing a trident or something for the hounds, it definitely would speed things up, but again, it's really not all that necessary. So pretty simple, guys. Once the hounds spawn, just get them to move a little bit south of Vetion, come over towards the safe spot, finish them off, and then you can resume your kill. Alright, the hounds are dead. I'm now going to resume the kill the normal way, and then we'll get our drop, and then after that, I will show you guys a different method, I guess. It pretty much works the exact same way, but it's slightly different, I suppose, if you have a God Sword. I really highly recommend trying to get a Zamorak in Hasta with a Dragon Defender. It's by far the best way. But perhaps you can't afford that. Maybe you only have like a BGS or something. That also works fine. It just is a bit slower because you can't hit it 3 times. And I will show you that as soon as I get this kill. And the drop is coins. Not bad. Okay, so say for example you can't afford a Zamorak in Hasta, but you can't afford a Bandos God Sword. A God Sword also works decently well here, except it will slow down your kills per hour quite a bit because you can only hit it twice instead of 3 times. So get it to the exact same lure spot, hit it once in the west, take a step south, and then hit it from the south, but then at that point, then you need to get off it. If you hit it a 3rd time, it will walk away because the attack speed is so slow. But again, guys, either by using a Zamorak in Hasta, a Sarah Sword, or a God Sword, any of those methods work very, very well, and you can get a pretty good amount of kills per hour and not take any damage at all. One last thing I'd like to cover, in the event of a PKer, they will often log in this treat area. You are in level 32 Wilderness, you're only 2 levels away, so honestly, if you can, leave your logout thing open. As soon as you see a white dot, don't even risk it, just instantly log out. But if you happen to not log out in time and they don't TB you, all you have to do is run 2 levels south. It's actually pretty quick to get out of there, so run a couple levels south, teleport, spam 1 on your keyboard, and you can easily teleport with a Slayer Ring. Or if you bought a Glory, that's even easier, just right click in Edgeville. Well guys, that is going to be it for this Vetion solo guide. I hope it all did help you out. I know Vetion's a boss I don't kill very often, but I think I'm going to start now because with this solo method, it's pretty effective and it's got very, very good drops. So anyways guys, thank you for watching the video. If the guide did help you out, feel free to leave a like down below. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all later.